One sunny morning in the Smurfs' village, Papa Smurf noticed something strange. Flowers were wilting, and the river water looked dirty. The Smurfs realized that their old ways of living were harming the environment. They used too much wood, threw away waste carelessly, and didn't recycle. Papa Smurf gathered everyone and said, "It's time for a change. We must protect our village and the forest." The Smurfs all gathered around to listen to Papa Smurf. "We need to think of ways to minimize waste and keep our environment clean," he proclaimed. Hefty Smurf, with his big muscles and can-do attitude, puffed up his chest and declared, "I'll lead the effort in recycling. Smurfs, bring me items you don't need, and I'll help you find creative ways to reuse them." Brainy Smurf pushed his glasses up his nose and offered, "I'll make a plan to use less wood. We can start planting more trees and maybe use rocks for building instead." His idea brought nods of agreement and smiles to the Smurfs' faces. Smurfette chimed in, "Let's make sure everyone reduces their everyday waste by collecting leftover scraps. We can use them for compost in our gardens," she said with a smile that sparked hope. Over the following weeks, the changes began to unfold. The Smurfs worked together to clear the river of litter, and, sure enough, fishes began to swim happily again. They set up a recycling center where every Smurf could contribute and use materials, turning them into new tools and toys. Excitement reigned as creativity blossomed in the village. With reduced wood usage and new tree saplings planted, the forest soon returned to its lush glory. Birds chirped merrily in freshly grown branches, and the flowers bloomed brighter than ever. Papa Smurf looked around at the village, now vibrant and alive once more, and shared a hearty laugh with his fellow Smurfs. "With teamwork and care, we've made Smurf Village better than ever," he exclaimed. "Let's continue these efforts, share with others, and keep nature beautiful." And so, the village sparkled with clarity, not just in its surroundings, but in the hearts of all Smurfs. With newfound respect for nature and each other, their sunny days continued joyfully, creating a lasting legacy to treasure. Once upon a time in the magical land of Smurfs, a great idea blossomed. Brainy Smurf, always eager to make a difference, stood before his fellow Smurfs and declared, "It's time for a green revolution." The Smurfs, curious and excited, gathered around to hear his plan. Brainy explained, "We will build clean energy sources, recycle waste, and grow more food naturally." The idea sparked a wave of enthusiasm across the village. Handy Smurf, always equipped with clever inventions, took on the challenge of making clean energy. In the center of Smurf Village, he constructed a towering windmill that spun gracefully in the breeze. Nearby, shiny solar panels glistened under the sun, ready to soak up the sun's rays to power the Smurfs' homes. Even greedy Smurf, known for his love of delicious treats, embraced the change. "Imagine this," he said, "Smurfberry pies baked by the sun." Papa Smurf nodded approvingly as he watched the young Smurfs dig holes for planting seeds. With Brainy's guidance, they learned the secrets of natural growing. "We'll have carrots, tomatoes, and maybe even some special Smurf fruit," Dreamy Smurf hoped. Harmony Smurf found his rhythm in recycling. With nimble fingers, he transformed old materials into new music instruments, while Clumsy Smurf did his best to squish cans and sort paper. Each Smurf did their part, and Smurf Village began to change. The air was fresher, the gardens bloomed with vibrant colors, and the Smurfs sang songs of happiness and health. Once upon a time in the lovable Smurf Village, a great decision was made by Papa Smurf. The village would embark on a journey to become the cleanest, greenest place in the enchanted forest. The Smurfs all agreed, and everyone had a special job to do. Farmer Smurf was given the important role of teaching the other Smurfs how to grow food without chemicals. He called all the Smurfs to his charming little farm and taught them how to plant the seeds with love and water them with care. Meanwhile, Smurfette took charge of a cleanup crew. Armed with bags and tools, Smurfette and her team swept through the village collecting garbage, turning recyclables into beautiful crafts for the village. Even Grouchy Smurf, who usually wore a frown, joined in with enthusiasm. "I hate pollution," he shouted as he efficiently picked up litter and sorted it into bins. The days turned into weeks, and slowly, bit by bit, everything started to change. The brown wilted grass transformed into a carpet of lush green, and colorful flowers blossomed everywhere. The air was clean, like the freshest breeze, and not a speck of pollution could be found. The Smurfs cherished their newfound home, a magical place where love for nature united them. As they sat on a hillside overlooking their revitalized village, Papa Smurf announced, "Smurfs, you've done an amazing job. Let's keep Smurf Village lovely forever." And so, the Smurfs continued their commitment to the earth, living happily ever after in harmony with nature, their friendship growing stronger every day. In the enchanted forest, the Smurfs lived happily in their green village, celebrating their harmonious relationship with nature. Every morning, birds sang a symphony, and the river sparkled under the warm sun. The Smurfs worked hard to keep their village clean and thriving, but not everyone was happy about their success. Enter Gargamel, the Smurfs' mischievous enemy. With envy boiling in his heart, Gargamel looked at the Smurfs' green village from afar, folding his arms, grumbling and scheming. "How dare those little blue creatures live so happily," he muttered. "I must ruin their happiness and destroy their progress." Gargamel concocted a plan to pollute the river, the lifeblood of the Smurfs' village. Sneaking through the forest under the cover of darkness, Gargamel approached the river with a foul concoction. But the Smurfs had been diligent and wise. Knowing Gargamel's intentions, they were prepared and had set up a water-purifying system, a clever invention by Handy Smurf. Using filters made of coconut husk, charcoal, and sand, they purified the water and made it sparkle even brighter. As Gargamel poured his concoction, the Smurf guards saw him. They quietly rallied all the Smurfs, and together, they devised a plan to scare Gargamel away. Using eco-friendly tricks, they quickly planted a wall of fast-growing bamboo all around the riverbank. Little did Gargamel know, bamboo grows fiercely fast, and as he poured his pollution, the bamboo began sprouting like magic. He didn't notice until he heard rustling behind him. Turning around, Gargamel saw a towering wall of bamboo circling him. As he spun, he saw the Smurfs smiling at him, holding their tools, celebrating their victory over him. "You're trapped, Gargamel," Brainy Smurf shouted. "Leave us and our village alone." Gargamel, frightened and overwhelmed by the growing bamboo, dropped his concoction and stumbled away, terrified. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, green forest, there was a little village, unlike any other. This was the Smurf village, where tiny blue creatures called Smurfs lived happily. These delightful beings loved nature and worked hard to keep it clean and green. One sunny morning, Papa Smurf gathered all his fellow Smurfs under the grand old oak tree. "Listen up, everyone," he called out, waving his big red hat. "Today is a special day. We are going to celebrate our beautiful village with a festival." The Smurfs cheered and clapped, eager to start the preparations. The village buzzed with excitement. Smurfs of all ages came together to decorate the clearing with colorful flowers, ribbons, and leaf garlands. Chef Smurf whipped up the most delicious treats, using fruits and veggies they had grown themselves. Even Brainy Smurf, who usually had his nose in a book, helped by organizing games and storytelling sessions. As afternoon rolled in, the festival began. The Smurfs danced and sang, their voices blending with the chirping of the birds and the rustling of leaves. It was a magical harmony, a true celebration of the natural balance around them. Finally, as the sun was setting, Papa Smurf stood up to speak. His eyes twinkled as he looked out at his happy family and their flourishing village. "Dear Smurfs," he began, "our village is an example of how living in harmony with nature can create endless joy. This is just the beginning. Let's promise to always care for our home and teach others how to live sustainably too." The Smurfs nodded in agreement, their hearts filled with pride and determination. From that day forward, the Smurf village became a beacon of green living, inspiring creatures from far and wide to learn from them. And so, the Smurfs continue to live in harmony, teaching the world one step at a time.